it's hard to be expressive. Like I don't have enough technique to be expressive. Not that I'm somebody who desires a lot of, flash or anything.
Sure, I understand. How much technique you think you need? Like a pint, quart? What would be the right amount? Gallon?
I think like a half gallon.
Gobs. Because the thing that you're saying, first of all, you start off saying, I'm an intermediate, beginning. You didn't use the word beginning. You said something to intermediate.
I might have said beginning to intermediate.
Right, player. So you've already said, boom, I'm experienced, I'm limited. That was the beginning.
Well, it's also kind of like, well, I don't know if you're saying, oh, I instantly limited myself. I'm actually just trying to communicate this like relative thing. I mean, like I don't have the facility.
Relative to whom?
To the people I'm comparing myself
there
to.
You go. So now we've arrived at where the problem really is, right? Because
I feel like I'm the same way. Yeah.
And it's also relative to an ideal you have in your mind. But if you don't have an ideal, and if you just play with where you are now, a pint is enough.
Maybe another analogy is like a palette. Like if you're a painter, it's like, I don't have that many colors.
You have more than you realize. That's the other. So the point of this is to pull some of those colors out, because sometimes number one, we're not able to recognize the shades of blue, right? And sometimes we want this big splash of all this color, and maybe that's not what is necessary to tell the story. So if we kind of reverse what our focus is, take the focus off of making this impressive painting, and the real focus is to tell a story. So what colors do I need? Now sometimes, I agree with you, sometimes we need the technical mastery of Horowitz. That's what we need. But typically that's not everybody's story, and that's not what we need all the time. Or we need the mastery of a Wynton Marsalis. But, all I have to do is point out the B.B. King example. Instead of like, I don't know what B.B. King knows. It's just an example, so I don't want to presume that he doesn't know anything or what he knows. But let's say that the things you can know about playing the guitar is this, and we hear B.B. King do this, and that's what we love. And when he does that one thing, we go, oof. So the fact that he doesn't do all of this is not relevant or useful. It's not useful to what the real thing is. And I'm here to advocate that the real thing is not the palette. It's the picture. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, right? It's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the collecting. But I'm inviting you to think about it in a richer way, that you have some of the things you already need, because you've already been imbued with something that makes you special already. And I guarantee you, I don't know what you sound like on the bass, but I ain't you on the. So there's two chairs we can sit in. We can sit in the chair of the musician who's making music, or we can sit in the chair of the person who's critiquing every note that happens and goes by and wonders how good it is. That note, that A flat, it could have been better. You should have played an A rather than an A flat. Or, the A flat, it just lacked a little something. You could go and you could sit in that other chair and analyze every single note and tell yourself how bad it is. You could do that. But the only problem is, number one, is you're not good at it. You're much better as a musician than as a critic. Because it's physically impossible to do both. It's physically impossible to make music and then at the same time evaluate the quality of what you're doing. But usually there's two distinct parts of the process. There's the writing, and then there's the editing. Right? And some of us write first and then we edit. Some of us edit first and then we write. So that's what you're doing when you've already critiqued what you've done before you've done it. So I'm asking you guys to look at it a little differently. It's not that we never evaluate. It's not that we never strive to do more and be better. But the question is, what order do you do it in? That's the whole game right there. And not just soloing, but like living an authentic life. how much do you show, how much do you not show? And, you know, that's hard. That's hard. And you know what I love about music? It gives you a chance to experiment with all this stuff. This is life stuff. It ain't just music stuff. It gives you a chance to kind of see what's happening. You know? A good friend of mine, he says that people play as they are. I don't know if that's exactly correct. But you know, like some folks, like they're close talkers and they talk like really loud. And you notice when they play, they're like that too. You know? So it's like, you know, music, on one hand, there's like there's an end game for us to play well and to do well and to be on stages and all that sort of stuff. But in the middle, while you're getting there, there's all this other stuff that's beautiful to work on, I think. Hey.
What's up?
Oh, what's your name?
Ian.
Ian?
Yeah.
What a great name.
Thank you.
Backwards it spells nigh.
Naive, actually.
Naive.
That's the correct pronunciation. I figured that one out in elementary school, you know.
Very good, Ian. Of course, we're going to have a lovely picture for Ian. All right, so let's do a little differently. Let's do something a little bit different.
Okay.
First, we'd have to start with where you grew up. Where'd you grow up?
Newark, Delaware.
Newark, Delaware. The lesser Newark.
Correct.
The safe one.
The safe one, yeah. More accurately.
And what was the first record that you bought with your own money?
Ooh, probably Pearl Jam Vitalogy.
Wow.
It was actually Pearl Jam and a Fish record at the same time.
Wow. What was the first live concert you ever went to?
Allman Brothers.
You lucky kid. Were you a kid?
I was in high school.
Wow.
Who's playing bass for him?
O'Teal.
Oh.
I stood right in front of him, just killing it the whole time.
And who did you go with?
My buddy Jones.
Wow. What? How do you spell it?
Jones. Jones.
Like Mrs.
What's special about him?
Just a funny, good guy.
Tell us, if you're willing to share, the one thing you did that disappointed your parents.
The one thing? I don't know. I got in trouble, got suspended in middle school.
All right, this is an interesting life, man. Growing up in the safe part of Newark, discovering the Pearl Jam Fish record and actually not illegally downloading it. And then, you never did it. God bless you. And then getting in the car and driving to the concert with Jones. Who was driving?
Jones.
Is he a good driver?
Yeah.
Yeah? You made it back.
Yeah.
And then the one time, you were obviously a pretty good kid.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, and you love
mischievous.
Yeah, you love your folks.
Oh yeah.
And you remember the look your dad gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We all had that. like we're vibing.
I was sitting up here and I was excited but kind of nervous, and then talking about that, I feel like that just that was like a recap, kind of where I was. I tried to kind of have like that, just express how I was as a kid and where I'm at now. I don't know if that came out or not.
Yeah,
but,
man.
So, just kind of, I decided not to really focus on one thing. It's just kind of all threw it in the melting pot, make a stew. You know?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Another round of applause for Ian.